Some of you might have seen me before. I've been marching and rallying and protesting since November 12th of 2016. The most common question I get that I'm never able to answer because of that tape over my mouth is why I march. So here's a little piece I wrote about it. The list keeps on growing, so this is a work in progress. I march because I don't want to be represented by a pussy-grabbing, angry tweeting, racist, xenophobic, misogynistic reality TV star, and I don't want him using our country as a platform for his own gain. I march because half of eligible voters sat out the last election because they felt their votes didn't matter, and they were probably right. I march because I'm still feeling the burn, and it's a fire they can't extinguish no matter how hard they try. I march because they've done everything they can to divide us, because they know that if we stand united, they don't stand a chance. I march because they've spoon-fed us lies, and for far too long, we've swallowed them down and we're choking. I march for the 27 trans people killed each year just for living as their true selves. I march because healthcare is a human right, not a money-making scheme for the insurance companies and the politicians they've bought. I march for every drop of blood that has been spilled in the name of big oil. I march because not one more. I march because all children deserve an equal opportunity to a quality education and a fair start in life. I march because Flint, Michigan still doesn't have clean drinking water. I march because Black Lives Matter is not a battle cry against white people, but a call to all of us to recognize and utilize the privilege that we have to help those without. I march because climate change is real and it is caused by human activity, and no amount of denial will change the fact that we are setting our children and grandchildren up for disaster. I march for the men and women who don't think they need feminism. I march for the white women who make 80 cents for every white man's dollar, the black women who make 65 cents for every white man's dollar, and for the Latino women who make 58 cents for every white man's dollar. I march for those who are afraid to march for themselves. I march for those who cannot because they have to work around the clock for minimum wage to support themselves. I march for the unarmed men and boys of color who fall victim to police brutality every day in a country that has waged war on its own people. I march for the indigenous people of this country who continue to have their land and their rights pillaged by our greedy government. I march for the refugees of countries torn apart by our wars. I march because love is love, regardless of skin color, gender identification, or sexual orientation, and the world needs more of it. I march because my body, my choice is not a radical declaration, but a statement of fact, and it should never be challenged. I march because those old white men on Capitol Hill don't represent my interests or yours, and until they hear our voice loud and clear, we cannot stop fighting. I march because until we have a government truly by the people, for the people, resistance must be a way of life. I march because I don't have all the answers yet. I march because it's the only thing that makes sense anymore. I march because this is the first step on the road to change that we will pave together.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.